Hey there, thanks for taking a quick break with me. You're on a mission, you're busy, but this might be time really well spent. And speaking of time, it is passing really strangely these days, right?
After all, it really wasn't that long since we were raising our glasses to a new year, a new decade, a new sense of possibility and progress.
Well, we all know what happened next. It is an uncertain, anxiety-filled time, but I can help. My name is Douglas Spencer, and for the last 30 years, I've been helping organizations reframe their focus and remaster their message, all so they can connect with people most important to their success. Connect with people and thrive in any environment. I've worked with organizations in healthcare, media, financial services, technology, consulting, and of course, not-for-profit in the United States and abroad. I believe there's something to learn from everybody and every situation, and boy, have I learned a lot over the years. My continually evolving framework for focus and messaging continues to help organizations like yours thrive no matter what. That's a little bit about me. Let's talk about you just to make sure you're in the right place and we don't waste any of your time. If you are the executive director, senior officer, founder, co-founder, board of directors member of a mission-driven organization, you're in the right place. And we define mission-driven organizations as not-for-profits, associations, social enterprises, any organization that feels they can make the world in some way a better place. If that's you, stick around and let me know if any of these scenarios are something with which you're dealing now.
The message you've used for years is out of date. It's lost its punch. It doesn't excite people the way it used to. It may not even be accurate. In fact, accuracy and consistency when explaining what you do seems so complicated now. There's always something that doesn't fit, always something that someone forgets, or always something that's just not quite right. No one ever seems to get it when you give your standard explanation for what you do. Then there's the global recession. If you're a not-for-profit, you're probably worried that your largest corporate sponsors will, best case, reduce their support, or worst case, drop you altogether. Or if you're a social enterprise, perhaps you're worried about your next round of funding or the buying power of your consumers. Your team is probably getting worried too. Maybe they've already started bickering about what everyone should do next. Motivation and engagement is slipping. Then there are the great organizations focused on public health or racial injustice, which are understandably and rightfully receiving more attention from the media, from corporate sponsors, as well as individual donors. Will that take support away from you?
Your work is no less important. In fact, it might be even more important today than it was ever before. But in order to do good work, in order to stay relevant, to stay top of mind, you have got to reframe your focus for today, and you have to remaster your message accordingly. I can help. In fact, not long ago, I helped a new mission-driven organization do just that, and the results were fantastic.
The Massachusetts LGBT Chamber of Commerce launched in 2018 with the broad goal of helping LGBT-owned businesses in the state prosper. For the most part, the launch was successful, mostly because of the organization's charismatic leaders and the corporate climate in Boston. But in order for the organization to grow and truly flourish, it had to be more than a box checked off a company's community relations checklist. They had to involve the corporate sponsors in more meaningful ways, as well as recruit and sign member LGBT-owned businesses. That's when they turned to us and our focus and messaging framework. Leading them through our unique methodology, they were able to clarify their focus, update their message, and engage more of the people and organizations required for the long term. In fact, when the global pandemic hit, they were able to mobilize their corporate sponsors in a matter of days to create a $3 million loan and grant program for chamber members.
I'm going to talk a little bit more about the work we did with the chamber in a second, but I think it makes sense to step back and think about how do we find ourselves in situations where we need to reframe our focus, where we need to remaster our message, because it happens to all of us.
First, we don't know what they don't know. Meaning we live and breathe our work day in and day out, and forget that not everyone understands the issues we address, the nuances involved, at the same level we do. It's like recapping season 3, episode 12 of a Netflix series to someone who's only seen season 1, episode 1. We have focused too long on the squeakiest of wheels and not the entire machine. That leads to great outcomes in the short term, but over time it can lead to a blurred focus, a convoluted, outdated, or confusing messaging. And then we don't go deep enough with our emotional connections. The emotional connection we create with people has to be personal. Just knowing that your organization helps others broadly, that's not enough. People need to feel something from their connection to your organization. As I said, we have a proven methodology. It's simple, though it's not necessarily easy. It addresses all those challenges, reframes your focus, and helps you remaster your message so you and your work can thrive despite what's happening in the world around us. The first of our 3 steps to the methodology is ask. To refine your focus, we ask questions. A lot of them. Some simple, some tough. Some fun, some not so much. We ask questions of you, your teams, the people you help, and the people who help you. The answers lead us to a framework that not only secures the support you need to thrive, it keeps you focused on what you do best and what is needed most. Our work with the Chamber uncovered that corporate sponsors wanted to do more than simply approve invoices, and members wanted genuine opportunities to network with one another face to face. Second, we build your focus and messaging framework, which includes 3 important components. The why. At the most fundamental level, why is your mission important? Why do you care, and why should anyone else? The what and how. What do you do to fulfill your mission, and how do you do it unlike anyone else? And finally, the way. What is the best way to bring that message to life? What are the filters through which you are best seen and heard? For the Chamber, their why was inclusive relationships, driving economic impact. One of their what and hows was helping members and partners of all levels of sophistication grow, compete, and succeed. And finally, we learned that the best filters, the best lenses through which people could most easily connect with the Chamber's work included strategy, innovation, boldness, and commitment. Now, the third and final step of our methodology, connect, uses our new focus and messaging framework to connect those core messages to your real-world needs. This step looks different for every organization, but it can include a simple one-sentence description of your organization, an elevator pitch that piques people's interest and compels them to learn more and get involved, new website or social media copy, or even an updated logo and a visual identity. For the Chamber, we handed off our work to other Chamber members who updated the Chamber's logo and even created a sonic brand for them. But this process is not a one-and-done exercise. It lives on. As the Chamber's Executive Director, Grace Moreno, says, the process impacted our work immediately. How we talk about what we do, what we choose to do, how we choose what not to do. And we rely on it to this day. Douglas got my vision out of my head and into our strategy and operations. In terms of the consequences of inaction, well, you would know far better than I, but they could be anything from layoffs to reduction of the services you offer, seeing far fewer positive outcomes, or not meeting any of your targets, or worst case, the dissolution of the organization. But the potential, if you decided to reframe your focus and remaster your message, you could expect to recover and protect income streams, increase support, decrease anxiety, and get more positive outcomes. And most importantly, you would get a framework to help you address the unexpected and thrive. So what do you think? Think I'm onto something? Maybe, not sure? Let's do this. Let's have a free 30-minute brainstorming session. I will ask you a few questions about your organization, about the challenges you're facing now, the challenges you think you're going to be facing soon, and I'll offer you some specific suggestions of things you can do on your own right away. And if it makes sense for us to continue talking about working together, we can do that. Worst case, you would have spent what I hope is an enjoyable half hour talking to me, but one that I'm sure you'll get at least something out of. So what do you say? Let's reframe your focus. Let's remaster your message so that you can thrive in any environment, including today's.